Om Parthaya Pratibodhitam Bhagavata Narayanena Swayam Vyasena Gratitam Puranam Vina Madhe Mahabharatam Advaitamritavarshinim Bhagavatim Ashtadashadhyayinim Ambatvam Bhagavad Gite Bhavadveshinim Namostute Vyasa Vishala Buddhe Fullaravindayata Patra Netra येन त्वया भारततैलपूर्णः प्रज्वालितो ज्ञानमयप्रदीपः प्रपन्नपारिजाताय स्तोत्रवेत्रैकपाणये ज्ञानमुद्राय कृष्णाय गीतामृतदुहे नमः। सर्वोपनिषदो गावः दोग्धा गोपालनन्दनः पार्थो वत्ससुधीर्भोक्ता दुग्धं गीतामृतं महत् वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं भीष्मद्रोणतटा जयद्रथजला गान्धारनीलोत्पल शल्यग्राहवती कृपेण वहनी कर्णेन वेलाकुला अश्वत्थामविकर्णघोरमकरा दुर्योधनावर्तिनी सोत्तीर्णा खलु पाण्डवैरणनदी कैवर्तकः केशवः पाराशर्यवचः सरोजममलं गीतार्थगन्धोत्कटं नानाख्यानककेसरं हरिकथा सम्बोधनाबोधितं लोके सज्जन षट्पतैरहरः पेपीयमानं मुदा भूयात् भारत पंकजं कलिमल प्रध्वंसिन श्रेयसे मूकं करोति वाचालं पंगुं लंघयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे परमानन्दमाधवम् यं ब्रह्मा वरुणेन्द्र रुद्र मरुतः स्तुवन्ति दिव्यैस्तवैः वेदैः साङ्गपदक्रमोपनिषदैः गायन्ति यं सामगाः ध्यानावस्थित तद्गतेन मनसा पश्यन्ति यं योगिनः यस्यान्तं न विदुःसुरासुरगणा देवाय तस्मै नमः। चैप्टर 3 ओम श्री कृष्ण परमात्मने नमः। अथ तृतीयोऽध्यायः कर्मयोगः। We will read from verse number 21. We'll read from 20. I'll read slowly. यद्यदाचरति श्रेष्ठः तत्तते वितरो जनः सः यत्प्रमाणं कुरुते लोकस्तदनुवर्तते. So in the manner in which Shrestha Purusha acts, others follow. Whatever the Shrestha Purusha establishes as an example, others blindly follow. So who are the Shrestha Purushas? Shrestha Purushas are people who are accomplished people, who are wise people, erudite scholars, people who you look up to. Saints, the Raja, and successful, highly educated scholars in today's society. Who would be the people you would look up to? You look up to scholars, teachers, people who have made something in life. We also look up to our parents. In fact, parents are the first people we look up to. Mother, father, guru, and the rest of the world, accomplished people. You are in the own family, the elder brother, the cousin, an uncle. So people who you look up to and you look up as a standard. Look up as somebody. Like they say, then there's a sportsman. Till the time Kapil Dev came into India to start playing cricket, many Indians are not inclined to bowl fast. Kapil Dev started it all. Then we have a lot of hospitals. Sachin Tendulkar inspired a whole lot of generations. Sunil Gavaskar inspired a whole lot of people in the sports field. Football, Diego Maradona changed the landscape of Argentina. The kind of motivation he could. Why we miss mere presence? They are role models. I'm not talking about other behavior. He says, Yadadacharati, the Sreshta Purusha inspires into action. You want to be like somebody. And then the next one, verse number 22, the teacher says, Name parthasti kartavyam trishu lokeshu kinchana nanavaptamavaptavyam varta evacha karmani. In these three words, I don't have to prove anything to anybody. I am a well-established person, but I continue to function. How? Tirelessly. So the best of sportsmen put in hours and hours of practice, diet, and lot of discipline into their lives. Unless you do that, what will happen is people will think, okay, brilliance just comes and thereafter you can take it for granted. So he says, remember, there is nothing for me to accomplish. Krishna says, hey Partha, remember this. For me, in these three worlds, there is nothing to accomplish, nothing more to accomplish. The whole three worlds run because of it. I don't have to accomplish it. Okay? But I continue to work, okay, ceaselessly. I remain in action. Varte karmani. Okay? Evacha, I continue to act. Verse number 24. Yadi hyayam na varteyam jatu karmanya tandritaha mama vartmanu vartante manushya partha sarvashaha. Suppose I stopped functioning. Suppose I stopped functioning tirelessly. What would happen? The people, Manushyaha, Anuvartante, would follow my path. They will stop doing their duties. They would stop doing their duties. If I ran away from the battlefield, everybody will say, he ran away, why should? So quoting himself, or he says, Arjuna, if you ran away from the battlefield, all your soldiers will say, I ran because Arjuna ran. You know something, when the Somnath Mandir was first hit by invaders, there's priests, who are supposed to do puja to the Lord and things like that every day. And naturally these people talk, Are Bhagwan Shaktishali hai, kuch bhi kar sakte hai. He can take care of himself. Why himself? He can take care of all of you. He can Prithvi ke Malik hai, this, that, all that is. When the first invasion came, these priests ran away. So what will the others feel? The fellow who is talking about God, he is running away. Where do we stand? Suppose two of those priests had decided to give up their life. He said, no, I'll die, but I won't abandon the ship. Okay, then what happens? Then the others say, oh my God, he's the leader of the society. He is sacrificing. He should. So the people who you hold in high esteem, whatever they do becomes a standard for you. So he says, I am Krishna. I'm Krishna here. Here is talking as Lord Krishna, Lord of three worlds. If I stopped functioning, what would happen? People will also. Simple thing. It's very, very simple thing. Sadhus are supposed to dress in a particular fashion. And they'll say, Kavi, Kadi. Sadhus are generally supposed to dress in that fashion. There's one person who goes by the name of Sadhu, but initially, I don't know how he was, but in later days, he started coming in, jeans, colorful upper cloth, colorful headdress. So what happens? Sadhu meant this is the dress he has to wear. So what has happened is one sadhu has established a standard. A lot of his followers, they say he himself dresses like that. Why don't I dress? I can also dress. So dress is no longer important. It's not that I can dress. The conclusion is dress is no longer important. I can dress any which way you like. I can mouth anything I like. I can sit on the stage in front of a live audience, in front of world TV, and if I mouth profanities, it's perfectly okay. So this is what sets that. This is what people will blindly follow. So he says, 24, he says, Utsi deyuri me lokaha na kurya karma chedaham sankarasya cha kartasyam upahanyami ma prajaha. So, aham na kuryam. Suppose I stop functioning karma, if I don't do my karma, ime lokaha utsideshu would perish. Syam karta. I will be the creator of what? Sankarasya cha. I will be the creator of confusion. Upahanyam. And I will be the one who would have been responsible for the destruction of my praja. So the more exalted you are in the society, if you stick to what is to be done, duties, then you don't have to tell the people. So I'm going into a few areas which can be drawn from our personal lives. First thing I'm going to share thoughts on is in the Vedic culture, there is something called Laukika, and there are some people called Vaidikas. Vaidikas are people who study for becoming priests and people like that. So there are Shastris, then there are Ganapatis, Dikshitas, okay? Then you have Vajpayis, then you have, they call it Shrauti. Shrauti means one who knows the Shruti well. Then we have what we call Dikshita, the highly qualified people at various levels. And they are all referred by the name Vipra. Vipra means Vedic scholars in general. Then we have Laukikas. Laukika term came much later, meaning people who follow the Vedic culture, but they pursue Artha Kama as the main function. Even the Vaidikas can follow Artha Kama. But for the sake of Artha Kama, the Laukikas have taken up a lifestyle where they possibly work for people, they have got certain professional qualifications and things like that. So they become Laukikas. The Vaidikas do Vedic related rituals throughout the day. Vaidika gets up in the morning, the first thing, if he's a brahmachari, he will start doing Sandhyavandana, followed by Samitadana. Then various other disciplines. He will study in the afternoon, again in the evening, Sandhyavandana, Samitadana. That's how. He wears a certain kind of dress, a simple dress. He has the shikha. And then suppose he is a grahastha, a married person. Then his Sandhyavandana is replaced by what is called Aupasana, certain fire rituals. Then he will have certain japas into which he is initiated, some puja into which he is initiated, which alone will take quite some time. They all get up before sunrise, and till 8 o'clock they won't drink, eat anything. So sunrise, bath, and do all this. Only after 8 they may even receive a telephone call or talk to people. So this is the Vaidika lifestyle. The Vaidika's son also followed Vaidika lifestyle. Then came a big change. Some, let's say Vaidika had more than a son or two, more daughters, fairly large family or something. So the Vaidika said, let one of my sons learn to be a Vaidika. Let one of my sons become a Laukika. The intention was, it's a joint family. By pursuing Vaidika style of life, you cannot do Artha Kama business at all. It is not meant for earning Artha Kama. It is meant for serving the society in the form of rituals and things like that. And most Vaidikas lived a life of voluntary poverty. You would call it poverty, a certain voluntary, simple lifestyle where the demands were kept to the absolute minimum. Then it came a change in thought. Some Vaidikas thought, why not do one or two sons go and do some Laukika business, let them earn some money, so that I can live in a reasonable comfort. The elder brother could pursue something, the younger brother will go outside and earn. So we had some kind of Vaidika socialism in our system. Then came a time. Then daughters. Daughters would marry into Vaidika families. Well, maybe a daughter would also marry into a Laukika family. Now a time has come where the daughters of a Vaidika will not marry another Vaidika. If it happens, it's a Vaidika, is it? Full-time Ganapatikal, is it? Is the question. I saw somebody give me an invitation card. I asked them, okay, what's the groom doing? So the groom is a full-time Ganapatikal. I did for now. I said, it's wonderful. Not for you. I said, I appreciate your daughter who has agreed for this marriage. I said, so no, she's committed to tradition. But there are families where the father, grandfather, great-grandfather have all been Vaidikas. None of the daughters married a Vaidika. They say, I want to live in a foreign country here. So this is called, what has happened? Sankara. See, a tradition is slowly dying out. A time will come when the Vaidika will be a rare company. For doing a tarpan, for doing a simple puja, you will not get a Vaidika, and you will pay huge fees to the Vaidika, and then the system will start again. Hey, Vaidika, you can earn a lot more in being a Vaidika than this. I mean, today, even today, what is the talk? Hey, these Shastris charge too much. For a wedding, a Shastri says, I'll take about 1,20,000 rupees or 1,50,000 rupees. This Shastri, he fleeces you. So I want to ask such people, what is the rent you pay for a Kalyana Mandapa? You don't have to tell me. Write it down. 2.5 lakhs per event. So if the wedding is held, a typical, I'm talking about a South Indian Tamil wedding, Tamil or South Indian wedding. You have the previous evening 2.5, the next morning 2.5, and in case you are rich enough to hold a reception in the evening, another 2. You paid 7.5 plus 2.5 deposit, 10 lakhs. 2.5 deposit will not come back. Maybe 20,000 if you get back, you're lucky. What is the catering fee you pay? 1,800 rupees per plate. Reception. Lunch and other things, they all have equal. Huge amount for. What is the flower decoration? What is the theme decoration? What's the return gift you want to give? What's the clothing? For one evening reception, Sharara, you will be 1,25,000 rupees and throw it away. You will never wear it again in your life. What's the amount you spend? Why grudge the Vaidika is 1,25,000 rupees that he charges? Ew, expensive. Then people say, cut this all short, We don't want all these, too much of rituals. All guests are coming. So, if this is the standard set by people who who have money, who have facility, forget money, even middle class people start doing all this. If generally this is the standard, what will happen to this Vaidika wedding? Personally, once what happened, somebody came home. She said that her niece is getting married to an American. And they wanted to hold an Indian style wedding, South Indian, Tamil, Vaishnava style wedding. They said the groom has agreed to do Upanayanam and is prepared to dress, and then the whole thing was filmed on video, and I was asked to give the voiceover commentary and things like that. So this I said, this is a ritual in which the groom or the bride's father invokes Mahavishnu in the groom. There is a mantra. If you see the mantra, it will say, Hey Vishnu, and he will wash his feet. He is invoking the Mahavishnu in the groom, and he says, I give you my Kanya as your Dharma Patni. You become Mahavishnu only when Lakshmi comes into your life. She is the Mahalakshmi I am giving you. It is said as Kanya Dana. My Guruji used to say, those days Kanya Dana was 10, the child was 10 or 12 years old. Now the girls become 35, 40. So he says it's no longer Kanya Dhyana, it's a Vriddha Dhyana. That's what it has become. Okay, Pani Grahana, hold your hands. So I said, the bride is being given away by the father in a wedding. They say, no. The Americans don't accept all these terms. I said, are you marrying or are you showing the rituals for the American state? I refused to do the voiceover thereafter. I don't know where they got it done from. So, if you are going to dilute the standards, what will remain? That's what we have to keep. Everywhere, Vaidikas are the people who are supposed to set standards. When it comes to Vedic rituals, if the Vaidikas don't set standards and stick to tradition, how will the rest of the people do? The Vaidikas have given up. Why should we do? It's a problem. So somebody who said, when I was telling them that I was teaching the Gita, so that the person mentioned that, you're doing a good job. I said, what good job I'm doing? It's better than holding your nose. And I said, what holding the nose? He's a proper grown-up person. He was my school teacher. He's holding nose. See, with pranayama, you do this. He says, rather than sit and hold the nose, you are doing better work. So this, my school teacher, of course, when I told him that I'm teaching Gita, I was 50 years old. So he must be in his 80s, almost 90 years old. So if this is the view maintained by a school teacher and this is what he has been talking to the children, what kind of standards will we spread? There's a Hori institution, Hori portals of an institution in Delhi, which goes by the name of a former prime minister. It has become, it had become the center of anti-India leftist ideals. Why? Because initially, all the teachers came from a leftist bastion who had no, any kind of emotional feeling towards India. So that's what they say, Bharat tere tukde tukde honge. Afzal Guru, hum sharminda hai, tere qatil zinda hai. What standards? This is a problem. That's what Krishna is hinting. Slowly, the society disintegrates if Sreshta Purusha don't do their job. If somebody asks me, what are you wearing this thread for? And I say, use it to scratch my back, what will my grandchild say? Suppose I told them, this is a vow I've taken to be a Vaidika. What will the grandchild say? Come what may. The child calls, I'll say, no, I don't take calls between 5 and 7 on Friday. They'll say, Papa isn't. Vedic chanting. He will not do take calls. What understand? It's okay, it's okay. Sir, wait, sir, I will talk to my child. From dilution, dilution, dilution. This is what he hints at in verse number 24. So this is, before we go into 25, verse number 25, I want to tell you a small story. Not a small story, it's a story. There is a character. This story has got a lot of relevance to our subject of study. There is a character in the Mahabharata called Karna. Karna suffered from a poor self-image. It was not acceptable to him that he was born. I'm sorry, I don't like using this word, but let me use it for the want of any other word. He was a low-born. I mean, not the Kshatriya standard. He was not born among the elite of the society. He was born among the oi polloi. Born a lower born person, not born among the elite. This gave him a very poor self-image. And lifelong, he struggled to be equal to those people. His father said, "You are such a great archer." He said, no, your appreciation is not enough for me. I want the appreciation from those fellows. In a battlefield, I must defeat the elite prince there, only then. So he started looking for recognition, acceptance, approval while competing with the elite. Are many of us like that? Think. Okay. Now, a time came when the battle was ready. They were ready for battle. A lady came to him. He said, yes, tell me, what can I do for you? She said, I am Kunti Devi. He said, the mother of Pancha Pandavas. She said, yes. I want you to know something. They are not Pancha Pandavas. There are 6 Pandavas. His 6th Pandava, where is he? She said, he is right here. He said, where? I don't see the 6th Pandava. Tattvamasi, you are the 6th Pandava. Oh, come on, I don't believe you. She said, let me explain to you. Said, on this day, I was a Kanya. Surya blessed me with a child. I was afraid of what people would say. I let you go in a stream, and your so-and-so, I believe, picked you up and brought you up. And if you know, you would have been born with a kavacha, Surya kavacha. Don't ask me how did the child thing grow along. It's a story. There are some birthmarks which told him that he is a Surya Putra. So she said this. You know. Now, does he have to now? She says, you are not a Suta Putra, you are a Kshatriya. The Kshatriya you always wanted to be, you are. Now, what has he got to do to become a Kshatriya? Nothing. He was ignorant. He had a view that he was not a Kshatriya. It has been revealed to him by a source, an authentic source, that he is indeed a Kshatriya. Not future tense, become a Kshatriya. Is it present tense? You are a Kshatriya. What does he do to become a Kshatriya now? There is no becoming. But he has to do something. The non-Kshatriya bhava has to be given up. The Kshatriya bhava has to be embraced. Okay? You and are all prototypes of karmas. We have a poor self-image, a view based on I am this much, this is only this much, I know only this much, there's so much I do not know. I want to always better myself and become that elite, become life of becoming. That's my view. An authentic source. Teacher comes and tells me, hey, you are what you always want to become. Really? Incredulity. How can it be? Let me explain. When you explain, he heard Shravana. After it was explained, he thought about it. Manana. Now, just as Karna was convinced he is a Kshatriya, the teacher told me, Tvam Brahma, you are Brahman. And the teacher revealed it to me. How did he reveal it to me? For all the technical brilliance that I have, I can't see my own eyes. Forget the eyes, you can't see your own face. I need a reflecting medium, darpana. To see myself, I need a darpana. What is that darpana? Shastra darpana. Shastra darpana is the pramana, the means of knowledge to know aham brahmasmi. Careful, okay? Reflect on this. Reflect on this. There is no becoming. There is being, claiming. What is the claiming? Indeed. Yeah, that is the claim. There is only listening, reflecting, and claiming. For listening, reflecting, and more so for claiming, you need antakarana shuddhi. This instrument of knowing should be perfectly all right. Meditation will not give you Atma Jnana. Be very clear about it. Okay, meditation will not give you Atma Jnana. Dhyanam will not give you Atma Jnana. Nidhidhyasanam will give you. You have to own up. That will give you Atma Jnana. Meditation will give you Chitta Shuddhi. Will prepare this for. So suppose somebody tells you, do meditation, one day you will become this. I don't know what you will become. What will become of you, I don't know. Dhyanam cannot give you Atma Jnana. Okay, what is Dhyanam? Simple example. Who am I? Who am I? Who am I? Who am I? Try chanting it for the whole day. So loudly you will say, who am I? What's the reply? You are a nobody. Who am I? You are poor self-image. Who am I? You are a pretentious fellow. Who am I? You are a liar. You have done nothing in life. Does it not hit you hard? The Shastra Darpana has to show. And the Shastra Darpana is employed by the Guru. Okay, so last week we talked about how you need Shastra Kripa, you need Guru Kripa, you need Ishvara Kripa, you need Ishvara Anugraha to get into this. Then you need Atma Kripa to apply yourself. Coming from that bracket, Arjuna did not doubt about himself, but he had some questions. He said, this is not working, man. You're saying I'm only supposed to do this, yet you're saying you have to know that you're this, but then you're asking me to go and struggle. Now, what is the struggle? So let's take a little more on the story. What is it that I really want in life? Please go back in your book tonight, in case you have a, I mean, don't invest in some low, cheap journal. I'm not selling any of them anyway. Invest in a good book and write there. What is it that I am seeking in life? You are seeking happiness. What kind of happiness? Happy in the morning, okay at 10 o'clock, a little less okay at 1 o'clock, 4 o'clock. Unconditional, limitless happiness. Okay. And how am I seeking that limitless happiness? I am seeking to become. Becoming somebody involves struggle. Struggle involves pain. You will have headache, backache, shoulder ache. Just imagine. Lifestyle illnesses. And somebody will make money out of your lifestyle illnesses. Who's the richest man in the world today? People who sell paracetamol tablets. Very rich people today. Pandemic has made their life great. I read it this morning. Sorry, not a remark or reflection on me, but just read it. So your becoming involves struggle. You have become now. Is it okay? No, you have to sustain. You have to maintain. Otherwise, standard will come down. Sustenance involves struggle. There are others trying to become. So either you have to keep them pushed down or become better. So therefore, holding on and not losing involves struggle. Struggle involves pain. What kind of happiness do you want? Painful happiness? Hey, what is painful happiness? An oxymoron. You would be happy being painful. You want limitless happiness. Shastra comes and tells you, you cannot become one. You know what? Either you are one. Am I one? He said, yes. You are. You are limitless happiness. But why I don't feel it? That's because you are looking at yourself through wrong paradigms. You know, there are two first-person singulars. One small I, one big I. You are identifying yourself with a small I. Start identifying with the big I, the problems of the small I will disappear. I want to tell you, today somehow when I'm in storytelling, I'll read out these verses. All them are connected to the verses. Okay, there is a country, north, south, or east, west. These are the two directions. Whatever be the name of the country. The south of the country is what you call a free economy. The north of the country is an economy in which everybody is following a certain idealistic policy. Everybody should be equal. Okay, now what is this everybody equal? Like the story in a forest, somebody, these idealists, ideology, took over the forest. They said in this forest, people seem to have various types of facilities, all this should be curbed. So what? The eagle, which is used to flying on top of and landing on the tree, should learn to swim. The squirrel, which runs on the ground, should learn to fly. At the end of so many years of ideology, the eagle forgot how to fly. The squirrel forgot how to climb trees and crack nuts. And they were ruled by a bunch of nuts. So would you like to stay there? Obviously, he didn't want. He got out. He wanted to run away. And while he was there, struggle. You talk against the government, you are in trouble. If you are caught, you are whipped, your hands are broken, your legs are broken. You are put in a concentration camp. He is put in a concentration camp. He is afraid to ask for food outside. Somebody will squeal. There are so many well-wishers there who are willing to send you back there. Now that fellow, after all the trouble, finally crosses the border and enters the free kingdom. He has not even joined and done refugee surrender yet. He has just entered the free kingdom. He has got out of those barbed wires and got into this new kingdom, free kingdom. His broken jaw, has it healed? His broken legs, have they healed? The pain in the body. Maybe he had to run away alone, leaving his family behind. What is it that happens there? I am big, exhilarating joy. You forget all the pains. The pains become nothing in presence of what you have got. The small I, when he discovers that he is the big I, there is no problem at all. All the small I's problem become jubi, a nice Tamil word. Become nothing. Once Akbar posed a problem, he drew a line. And he said, you should make this line smaller without wiping off anything or breaking the slate. Everybody was puzzled. Birbal said, that's all. He drew a bigger line next to that small line. No, bada ho gaya. Paradigm shift. Paradigm shift. You see yourself as an ajnani. The paradigm shift makes you see the reality. You are jnani. The paradigm shift has taken you to the real I that you are. You don't say, I become a jnani. You have understood who you really are. Thus, person is referred to as a jnani. Okay. So with this background, I will leave this verse for you. Verse number 25. Sakta karmanya vidvamsa. Sakta karmanya vidvamsa. Yatha kurvanti bharata. Yata kurvanti bharata. Kuryat vidvans tatha sakta. Kuryat vidvans tatha sakta. Chikirshu loka sangraham. Chikirshu loka sangraham. What verse? Sakta karmanya vidvamsa. Yatha kurvanti bharata. Kuryat vidvans tatha sakta. Chikirshu loka sangraham. Words. Bharata, hey Arjuna. Tatha yata. Tatha yata is just as. Avidvamsa kurvanti. The ignorance one do. What? Sakta karmani. Karmani, karma, attached to the karma for artha kama phala. Their object of performing is, may I have artha kama, may I have more facilities, may I have more joy. It is for, I wouldn't like to word, selfish is a very strong, but by saying more for self-centered, family-centered, and for feeling a little better, having a better self-image. Suffering from I am a nobody, you become somebody, not just in your eyes, in somebody else's eyes. I want to be somebody in somebody's eyes. At least if you say I want to be somebody in my eyes, I can understand. I want to be somebody in somebody's eyes. And the somebody's eyes in which you want to be somebody never recognizes your body. That's a problem. These are the problems of the world. Struggle, pain. Okay. So he says, Sata. Okay, whereas, so this is the people who are attached to Arthaka. He says, Vidwan. Vidwan is the wise one, the enlightened one, the jnani. Kuryat, they do actions. Asaktaha, unattached. Chikirshu, with the desire to bring about lokas sangraham. Okay, so why this question? Because Arjuna says, I don't want to do action. Krishna says, no action you have to do. You can't avoid action, but the attitude behind the action is very, very important. I want to take you to some Vedic rituals. If you have been fortunate enough to see, there are people at home who do an elaborate puja. They'll have, saucham, bath, and then fresh clothes, market. They won't even drink water. Absolutely pure. Okay, absolutely pure. He will do an elaborate puja, Saligrama or Shivalinga or whatever, elaborate puja, Nevedyam offered. Only then he will eat. This is the practice of a grahastha. Now, these Vaidikas and Laukikas who come from certain sections of the society, they follow certain gurus, certain acharyas. So you go and see the acharyas come and camp in a place for a long time, 40 days, 2 months, they sit and camp. So you go to those acharyas morning, evening. You will find the acharya starts a puja at 6 o'clock, it goes on till 9 o'clock. Then he will give Tirtha Prasad. Then they will have Samashti, Annada. Again, 4 o'clock, the Acharya will start the puja, run on till 8 o'clock. Again, Tirtha Prasad, Samashti, go home. 6 days a week, this is what he'll be doing. On the 7th day, before or maybe he will do a small pravachan. Now, some people say, hey, this I and you are doing for Artha Kama. Why should that Acharya do? He is a Mathatipati, he is the head of the Matha. Why should he do? Why not he get somebody else to do it? The Mathatipati simply says, if I do, people might do. If I don't do, people will definitely not. So I do it for Loka Sangrahartham, for the benefit of the people. There are many people, among the medical profession, there are also many people who are accomplished, amazing physicians and surgeons, but they go to medical colleges to give lectures to undergraduate students. Why? Loka Sangrahartham. He's got enough doctorates. He wants to talk to the young, budding, professional, medical profession people. Because medical profession, sorry to call it, it should not be referred to as a medical profession at all. Vaidya Raja is the name given to medical, for want of any other, I would say medical service people. It's called Vaidya Raja. He is on par with an Acharya. The senior people will come and give a lecture there, or come and say, they'll say, come and come and see, I'm performing something, I'm doing a complicated surgery, you're all allowed to come and see. Loka Sangrahartham, so that they benefit. So, he says, I do because people, Loka Sangrahartham, the wise one do for Loka Sangrahartham, the unwise one do for themselves. When you do for yourself, you have struggle, achieving struggle, maintaining struggle, losing struggle. Any struggle involves pain. And what is it that you want in life? Ananda, Purna Ananda. And my Swamiji used to tell, very often he'll say, do you know yourself? Swamiji, you don't know me. I know better, me better than you know. Oh, really? How? You say I am all this Brahma Swarup and things like that, Swamiji. I know what kind of rascal I am. I may not say that to the Guru. I know I will never be able to get moksha in this janma. I know myself so well. What you are is known to you, self-evident. Sorry, that you are is known to you. What you are, the Shastra Darpana has to reveal to you. What that you are is self-evident. What you are has to be revealed to you. And that it takes place in the Antakarna. The Antakarna must be clear. The Antakarna must be clear as to what is to be done, what is not to be done. Antakarna must be clear. This is my goal. This is what I have to achieve. And all the Artha Kama are means to achieve that. I do Artha Kama for Loka Sangrahartham. I do Artha Kama for with Ishvara Arpana Buddhi. I do Artha Kama with Ishvara Prasada Buddhi. The mind is free from struggle. And in such a mind, when they come and tell you, when the teacher comes and tells you, Tattva Masi, it catches fire. No. Immediately. After that, what you do? All these, why do you do this? Why do you do this? You have to Anatma Buddhi Durbali Karanam. You have to weaken. You have to disidentify the Anatma from you. And Atma Buddhi Prabali Karanam. Strengthen the Atma Buddhi. I am this. In reality, I am this. In reality, I am this. This is not me. This is not me. This is not me. Saying this is not me doesn't take away your responsibility. That's what we have to remember in these verses. Are you father? Yeah, with respect to my son. What are you really? I am Brahman. Huh. Are you husband? Yeah, with respect to this lady. Are you brother? Yeah, with respect to some people. So, brother, father, son, daughter, husband. Somebody is ringing the bell. Excuse me. Some Ishvara Prasada. So, good. Ishvara acknowledging that you're doing good job. So, Anatma Buddhi Durupali Karanam. It doesn't make me a lesser father or a lesser brother or a lesser son. But I am objective towards my role as a father. Becoming a father is a struggle. Being a father is a struggle. Okay. Being acknowledged as a good father, to be acknowledged as a good father is a struggle. Most of the time, the son will come and say, in Tamil, they'll say, you are a father because you don't support me. What are you supposed to do? Hold his shoes and polish him lifelong. Sad state of affairs. But suppose that's going to make me sad. Then I have to do that. Anatma buddhi durupali karanam. I'll have to understand. I have to reflect and see. Perhaps as something in the past, some unconscious surfacing in that character, some unconscious surfacing in my character. Perhaps I have not done proper acharanam as a father. I have not been able to inspire that person. Hey, your whole attitude has changed. Atma buddhi prabalikaranam has happened. You are no longer sad. The father's problem has been objectified, nullified, neutralized. So I have not changed my attitude. My son should come and say, what a great father you are. Again, your objective. Whatever you do in your lifetime, the person may not recognize you at all. Reality. Be alive to that reality. You are not. You may go through dukkha, but you will not say, aham dukhi. It will never happen to you. That is how practical Vedanta is. Vedanta is practical. If it is not practical, if it is in one part a theory, please don't study it. Don't study it. Okay? So he says, I do it for loka sangraham. Hey, why should I go and struggle? You expect certain things from me? I will do it for you. Gladly, I will do it. Wholeheartedly, I will do it for you. Not because I want you to appreciate me, but this is expected of me. It gives you a certain sense of well-being. I will gladly do it. How will I do it? Ishvara prasarpana buddhi, Ishvara prasada buddhi. You see some meaningful applications of that? Let's look at 26. Very important is 26. I mean, all are important. So once in a while, when the teacher says, there's an important section, it doesn't mean other sections are less important. Important section means there is something in Hindi, there's Gurutva. There's something important being said here. Something impactful being said here. He says, Na buddhi bedam janayet, na buddhi bedam janayet, ajnanam karma sanginam, ajnanam karma sanginam, joshayet sarva karmani, joshayet sarva karmani, vidvan yukta samacharan, vidvan yukta samacharan. So whole verse, na buddhi bedam janayet, ajnanam karma sanginam, joshayet sarva karmani, vidvan yukta samacharan. Okay, vidvan, the wise, na janayet, should not create. Buddhi bhedam, confusion. Ajnanam, among the not so wise. Okay? Ajnanam, karma sanginam, people who are not so wise and who are attached to pursuing artha, kama and things like that. Okay? And they are performing that efficiently. Okay? The fellow is making money efficient. He is making 1 lakh of rupees per day in the stock market and he is doing it efficient. Performing efficiently. Samacharan. Okay? Their duties are doing properly. He is saying, yeah, he is saying, no, I've got to buy my family is growing. I have to buy a 5-bedroom house. I need a villa. I need a bigger car. I need my child to go to the best of schools. Hey, don't disturb those persons. Okay? Karma sanginam. Okay? And with discipline also. Joseph, if possible, inspired. If possible, inspired. A lovely verse, you know. Like, for instance, very often people come and say, sir, we should teach Vedanta in school, sir. What will you teach in school for Vedanta? Unless you yourself have clarity, you mean to say some school teacher can teach Vedanta in school? What will they teach? Money does not give you happiness. So I posted once, you know, to counter that. Hey, let me find it out myself. That's what all the rich men do. You know, they don't want competition. They will tell you, money does not give you happiness. I said, TJ, it doesn't give you happiness. Transfer it to me, no? Let me discover. Money does not give. Fame and this does not give you happiness. You must come first in class. Hey, what a confusion. You will tell me in the class, you know. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, competition, I mean, you should not depend upon approval. Then in the exam time, I want you to win a gold medal. Our school should come first. Hey, what confusion. The poor chef. Luckily, you don't teach Vedanta in school. Vedanta is not supposed to be taught in school. In Veda, in school, you are supposed to be taught discipline. What discipline? Shamadama Uparamasthitiksha Vairagya and Viveka. Viveka is be alive to your priorities to start with. See that you don't do something which gives you conflict later. This is how these laws work. Hey, you teach children gravitation force in school. Does any child go to the terrace and try to walk off? No. They understand it well. That's how you should teach. They say if you rub dharma, this is how you will get rubbed. How will you get rubbed? My teacher taught me. Beautiful. Not a school teacher. Swamiji. He says, suppose you are a person who lives a life of, not a life, you spin a web of lies and deceit. Okay, somebody comes and tells you a fact. What's the first question you will ask? Really? Such a kya? Because you have spun a web of deceit and lies that you can't even believe Harichandra. Simple thing, you see something black. Keep telling the child, this is white, this is white. What will happen to the child? So this is the truth. And you deliberately avoid speaking, feeling, and telling the truth. So you have created a split. The knower and the doer are split. What's the first problem you face? You set your alarm clock at 5 o'clock and say, I must get up at 5. This is what the knower says. What will the doer say? You will not get up at 5. You will reach out, ping, go back. And come back and tell me, बहुत ठंड पड़ता है आजकल. Here, Chennai में. In Chennai, cold. Oxymoron. See how your system works against you? I want to do a decisive thing. The doer will say, I will not let you do. I want to give up this. I won't let you do. If I teach the children this, my discipline will work. Vedanta I should teach. Bhagavad Gita chanting you teach. In Bhagavad Gita you teach. See, you tell them Artha Kama is important. You tell them this is important. It's important to earn a name. It's important to make a lot of money. Along with that, add earn 10, give charity 9. See the joy in giving. Earn 10, pay your taxes on time. Don't cheat on taxes. Don't, that which, there's a fellow who said, he says, I know triple entry, sir. He said, what is triple entry? He said, one set of books. He said, double entry, no, triple entry. Humko malum. He said, what is triple entry? He said, one set of entries for your partners, one set for the government, one for you. So I know all 3 entries. It's just not okay. That's what he says, don't confuse people who are artha kama oriented. I want to bring it to even that. No? Imagine I am doing a puja. I am not doing it the way it is supposed to be done. I am doing it perhaps a little different. The person watches. The puja should not be done like this. What's the next question? Sir, then how should I? You go and ask your guru. So I go to my guru. Sir, I heard that person say that I should not do the puja like this. He said, then go and ask him, no? Why are you asking me? So the fellow is na idhar ka, na udhar ka. They say, gobi ka gadha, na ghar ka, na ghat. You are neither here nor there. So he says, wise people learn to keep this instrument closed. This instrument closed, helps you in a lot of things. It frees you from some lifestyle disease. It also, nobody will misunderstand a silent person. There's a saying, keep your mouth shut and let people think you are a fool rather than open your mouth and prove it. Hey, don't tell me keep quiet for 1 hour. I speak only to Satsangis. So don't confuse people. Somebody is doing japa, okay? The various techniques of, I saw somebody do japa like this, okay? I do it. Some people who are told, well, they can put 2 fingers here, put a 3rd finger elsewhere. So I go and tell them, this is not the way to do it. What have I gained? Somebody is doing something sincerely under guidance from a proper teacher. Shut up. Don't confuse people. At best, you can ask them, who are you learning under? Very good. Continue. If you want to advise, please don't give free advice. That's I learned. Don't give free advice. Recently, somebody told me, you are only fit for giving free advice. So, I learned this lesson very, very, as though it was sock on my job. It was a New Year lesson I learned. So, don't give free advice. Ask them, what are you doing? Oh, wonderful. Is there any other way I should do it, sir? You are learning it from a teacher? Please. Is there any other way of doing it? Please learn from a teacher. I am a Bhagavad Gita teacher. If you want to learn Gita my style, please enroll for my class and come and listen to a couple of lectures and then decide whether you. That's how it should be. So please don't confuse people. It happens. These days, in India, cricket is a popular sport. But everybody and his uncle is a coach. Every retired fellow is a coach. Anybody who retires from test cricket or first class cricket becomes a coach. You know something? Some of the best coaches in the world have never played a game at any level. Football coaches never play games at any level. They only observe. He will say, have a vision. Especially in football, you go counter in the center, pass the ball, run around, receive the ball. The fellow has a vision. He'll say, do it. This is how you do. There was a coach I knew. The fellow will first come and say, pick up the bat. The way you pick up the bat, he will say, you will not learn cricket. Go. You just don't know how to pick up the bat. You have no idea here. So possibly do something else and come back. But the way you touch the bat, he'll say, here is a star in the making. The problem with Indian many sports, the coaches are the star players' mothers and fathers. They lead the Olympic delegation. There was a tennis player, a lady tennis player. Her mother became a coach and started leading the delegation for international sports. This is the problem. Don't confuse people. Anybody. The fellow has never played table tennis. Is like he's a table tennis coach. He used to play some for cricket somewhere. Now he's a cricket coach. He tells people how you should do this and where have you picked it up from? Various other manuals. He says, na buddhi vedam janayet. Okay. Agyanam karma sanginam. They are doing it properly. Somebody is earning a living, making money, keeping his family happy. They are going on. Hey, all this is waste. You will not get moksha. You have spoiled him. And his family will say, Mama, his fellow seems to be a wise man. Are we doing something wrong? You have reinforced the poor self-image that he has already been having. Sir, I am doing this. Jayaho. If he asks, you continue, be a regular, then he'll say, sir, in spite of all this, I am having a problem. Yeah, then come to Veda. Parikshya Lokan. Let him come and say, even after so much of inquiry, I am not able to see myself as a happy person. Then you tell him, yeah, there is something to be done. Okay. So let's read 27 and then next week it's more. Prakrite kriyamanani gune karmani sarvashah ahankara vimudhatma kartahamiti manyate. So he says, it's a very subtle verse. We'll have to see more elaborately in the coming days. He says, Prakrite kriyamanani. Why do I miss myself? Why cannot I not see myself as an unconditionally, limitlessly happy soul, person, being? Why am I not able to say? He says there is a small problem. Because you are functioning through a body, mind, sense complex. It is made up of matter. And the problems of the matter superimpose itself on the being. I've not done Tattva Bodh for you. Someday we'll do a subsection for that. This body-mind complex by itself is achetanam, inert. It borrows power from Chaitanyam and as though become Chaitanya. Difficult to understand? Let me give you an example. I have a fan spinning. There's a fan here. There's a light there. There's the air cooler there. There's a laptop going on. Inert as they are. But when they borrow energy called electricity, which is invisible, you can't feel it. Yeah, if you could touch it in the wrong place, you will feel. Borrowing electricity, it has as though come to life. I don't talk about electricity's value. What's the configuration? What is this? What is that? In the same way, this BMS complex has borrowed energy from me, my original big I, and the small I has as though become active. Okay? The person who doesn't understand this is a Vimudhatma. The Vimudhatma thinks this has become all powerful. That's what the Vimudha. We'll see in the next week more, but I would like you to understand this Vimudhatma very well. Lovely example. So there was a fellow who wanted to, knock a nail into this wall. So he took the blunt end of the nail and put it on the wall. And with the sharp end this side, he started hammering the sharp end with the hammer. Mood Atma, full. He said, these crew fellows don't know how to make nails for this wall. They have made with the blunt end the other side. Now comes the Vimud Atma, his greater Atma. He says, you are a fool. You have not understood. This nail is not meant for this wall. This nail is meant for that wall. See, take it that, it has gone inside. See, this is Vimud Atma. This is the Vimud Atma. So, the Mood Atma se jada, Vishesha Mood Atma, who doesn't understand that this is inert and it functions because of borrowed energy from outside and things I am doing, and is missing the wood for the trees. Or what is it? Trees for the wood? Or what is it? You are missing the real thing. Okay? You are missing the real thing and taking the unreal to be unreal. And when you take the unreal to be real, the result is pain. When you take the real as it is, you might have pain at this level from the transactions. If I knock my hand, the other day, I don't know, maybe while I was sleeping, I knocked my hand on the bedpost and I have a scar here. Somebody told me it's a blunt trauma, discoloration. The pain is there naturally. Now, of course, it's gone. The other day, it was very painful. Suppose I say I am Atma, the pain will not disappear. The pain will be there. But I won't make a fuss about it. I'll objective, but perhaps the color is going away. Maybe it's to get better and better. If it doesn't, give it a little attention. Become objective. That's all. Life is, strictly speaking, very, very simple. Okay? We will see. Ishvara's blessings, Ishvara Anugraha, Shastra Kripa, Guru Kripa, Atma Kripa to study further in the coming weeks. Swastit Prajabhya Paripalayantam Nyayena Margena Mahim Mahisha Gobrahmanebhya Shubhamastu Nityam Loka Samastha Skino Bhavantu Kale Varshatu Parjanya Prithvi Sasya Shalinim Desho Yam Shobharahitah Brahmana Santu Nirbhaya Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah Sarve Santu Niramaya Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kaschid Dukkha Bhav Bhavet Asato Ma Sadgamaya Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amritangamaya Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate Om Shanti 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 Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Hari Om Satgurnath Maharaj ki jai ho, Swami Dayananda Maharaj ki jai ho, Sab Santon ki jai ho, Pavan Putra Hanuman ki jai ho, Bajrang Bali ki jai ho. May Ishvara come into your lives. May you remain committed, unflinchingly committed to the path of self-knowledge. If there is one way out of shoka, poor self-image, low esteem, a sense of self-loathing, everything else can give you palliative. But the only solution is to know that you are none of these. Jai Ho.